Hello, welcome back. This is Jacob continuing the narration for the currently live side story in Arknights, Invitation to Wine. Okay, first off, I don't know how long today's episode is gonna be, considering I am planning to, after I, prepared a bit, to make this now into 3 parts total, so potentially gonna be a longer episode than the first one, but we'll see about that. But yeah, what else to say? Quick recap last time. Well, we got our first proper introduction into more modern Yan as a whole, or rather one of its actual cities, not just Lungmen, considering Lungmen is technically its own thing. But yeah, we got a proper introduction into this region in the form of the city of Shangshu. We got to see how it is made, basically being on plates that are literally jammed into the mountains and the mountain range where they are. And they all are pretty much their own little hubs and biomes and stuff, which is kind of ridiculous and neat. You gotta really think about what the goddamn technology of that world is, considering that apparently 200 years in the past there was almost none of that stuff. But yeah, we got introduced to the city, some of its inhabitants, including an innkeeper, his obviously adopted daughter. Let's not kid ourselves there. 2 separate groups of people that we know from stories past, and well, one that we don't know from stories past, but is a operator and contact for Rhode Island in the form of Lee, or rather Detective Lee from Lee's detective agency in Lungmen, together with a boatman sent out by a representative of the city, and they were on the way to that said representative to deliver a package. Meanwhile, Kroose and Nothing are also on the way to the city to meet up with Dusk and Nian, who are apparently there to find another one of their siblings, which we have yet to properly meet in the story, considering we've only seen her for now in little flashes of dreams, let's call them that. Dreams and visions that Lee was experiencing. Meanwhile, as the party is being pursued by both another group who's trying to get said package from Lee, plus some weird bronze-ish looking dog-ish animals that are around Lee, and Lee apparently having a split personality in the dreams I said earlier. So yeah. Oh, and we've also met 2 people who are from the same commission place. How was it called again? Same place that Lazy is from. And Lazy being an operator that was introduced in the main story of the game, but is with Rhode Island on contract here and there, pretty much overseeing what Rhode Island is doing, considering how they are involved in both Lungmen and Yan at this point. But yeah, I think that about covers it for the intro and for a quick recap, I guess. But yeah, let's go. Last time we've left off on stage 2's story, so today we're gonna continue from stage 3 onwards. So let me quickly boost the volume, considering the actual music on the stages is very low. And I don't want it to be completely muted in the background. Okay. So, stage 3. Title, Light and Shadow. So, let's begin. This isn't it. If things were really so simple, then I would find myself worried about Mr. Liang's eye for talent. Mr. Zhang, do we know anything about the visitor from Lungmen yet? He's an old friend of Ling Insurance. Anything special about him? We have a few unclear leads, but I can at least guarantee that this affair has nothing to do with Lord Wei. That's my favorite. That's my father's greatest worry taken care of. True though, considering the sort of methods that Lord Wei of Lungmen usually employs. If we were involved, we wouldn't be sitting here enjoying tea right now. I've heard many anecdotes about him over the years. It's a shame that I've never had the chance to visit Lungmen to see his exploits with my own eyes. I'm surprised that you show such a keen interest in someone like him. I've walked the world of Kung Fu in my younger years, and I've heard he's a fine swordsman, and that's all. I see. It's true that he's a swordsman. As for his swordsmanship, though, all I know is rumors. In any case, can we assume it was Mr. Liang himself who chose to involve the Illuminate? Undoubtedly. He is the only remaining variable, and also Mr. Liang's only trump card. Mr. Liang should have been on our side. The man he chose should not have tried to deceive me either. It was an illogical move. Mr. Liang doesn't have much of a choice himself, if only... no, it wouldn't have mattered. Isn't her presence in Shangshu the reason everything has gotten so out of hand? The 3 months and 17 peaks, a place graced by the presence of a deity. In eras past, Shangshu was a place where many dreamed, not only people but all inanimate things. As the saying goes, all things in the world can be defied with souls, and all words in the realm can be summarized in a sigh. According to legend, a millennium ago the Yanese town were scattered all over the country. It was only when our Shangshu forebears all collectively saw the same dream that they chose to settle down on these lands. The legends of Shangshu have always been so magnificent. Outsiders may see it as mere legend, but to the locals it is history. The operator from the medical company, Kroose, was it? If it wasn't for your help, she would likely have caught up to me. You have my thanks, Mr. Zhang. You once saved my daughter from having her hot-headedness lead to disaster. It is only natural for me to come to your aid. At the end of the day, Rhode Island is an unknown. What do you think, Innkeeper? They are not a part of the game. They are nonetheless standing very close to the table. I rarely see a woman with such fine technique, though. Seeing her chased after you gave me a good idea of her abilities. And what's your assessment? She may be young, but she's a battle-hardened veteran. Huh. Did you arrive at that conclusion as Zhang, the innkeeper of Zheng Xingyu, the asker to the Frost? Both. You haven't once looked away from that fake cup. I'm only reminiscing about the goblet's original form. When we crossed that wilderness all those years ago, we ran into a group of bandits. None of them spoke Yanese, and we hadn't the slightest idea where they came from. They blew up the caravan and tried to steal our wares, though our escort colleagues stopped them. Still, there were far too many, all obsessed with our wares, and they followed us for 200 li. It was raining, visibility was low, and there was nary a light in sight. The bandits, who knew the terrain much better, followed us like shadows. We were afraid to counterattack, lest they have some kind of underhanded trick up their sleeves. We were too afraid to run either, lest we couldn't shoot them. From what I heard, the Sui regulation once secretly commissioned the renowned Xingzhou Escort Association to transport an item, only for it to be lost in an accident en route. That was my fault. I'm afraid I'm not very good with confronting words, Mr. Zhang. I'm simply never expected that the next time I met a crossbowman of such horrifying prowess would be in my hometown, in the dead center of the city, under a well-lit night, all for the same goblet. I truly cannot begin to explain how I feel. How did you escape then, Mr. Zheng? When do you mean? Oh, the incident you were just talking about, of course. My father always tells me that I am still young and inexperienced and should learn from my elders. If you would continue to share your story with me, I'll gladly listen. Luck was not on my side that night. 2 of my men were hurt, good men, neither of them made it. The association's rule is to save the goods than the men. We all knew the risks when we joined the business. But when the injured dead and the goods threatened, that actually freed us to do as we pleased. It was pouring that night, up to wash the blood off my blades. So you just need me to find the cup's owner? Before I continue, I would like to point out, I don't know how I didn't pick this up the first time around, but just look at Liang Jun if you haven't already seen this. Look at his neck. What is going on there? That is a glitch, I guess. My god, I cannot unsee it now. Oh, anyway. Correct. By owner, you mean a buyer or collector? Not quite. It would be a much simpler matter if that were the case. Strange. This cup was shockingly cheap, but according to the black market appraisal I stole from the smugglers, it seems... It's an actual antique, through and through. Who's the man of the hour, then? I don't know their name, nor anything else, really. Their gender, their race, their age. Well, where am I supposed to start, then? Are you even sure they're in Changshu? That much is certain, and only that. How do you know? Suppose our friend decides to take a trip. Wouldn't that make this a huge waste of time? No, they are in Changshu. I can guarantee you that. If they had left Changshu, I would have been notified. Strange. So you can monitor them, but you can't locate them? That's right. Are they some kind of monster or enlightened deity? You'll know what I mean once you see them. So they must leave some kind of indication that they are here. Is this the kind of funny business government officials have to deal with these days? Fine, I won't probe any further if you don't want to tell me. It's just that it's not much of a lead in a town this big. They're most likely hiding in one of the 3 mounts. How do you figure? Our friend is unpredictable, but every once in a while they show up at the mountainside liquor shops to buy alcohol, with no regularity whatsoever. But they've never come down to these valleys, nor have they ever appeared in the nomadic cities, in which case they're most likely somewhere in the mountains. Very well then, the 3 mounts of and 17 peaks it is. Sounds like a fun trip. Legend has it that our friend is an appreciator of fine weather and scenery, and they enjoy lounging in pavilions and writing poetry all the more. Legend, huh? It is more than mere legend, actually. So you're familiar with them? Not exactly. In the end, you may just have to try your luck, troublesome as it sounds. Do we have a deadline? I'd appreciate it if you take care of this as soon as possible. As you can tell, a few too many people are already mixed up in this affair. The longer it continues, the greater the chance it will get even more out of hand. As for the cup, seeing as someone has their eyes on it, we should keep it in the safety of my estate. Amazing, Mr. Liang. First you had me bring it to you across thousands of li, then you want me to find its owner, and now you want even let me hold it. You're really putting me in quite a bind. Perhaps next time you'll arrange for me to help you from the comfort of Lugman. This is a sign of my trust in you. It's true, though, that it seems that someone has their eyes on it, then keeping it on my person is asking for trouble. As for the Xingyu Inn, we're investigating it. Be careful on your way. If you need help, I can arrange for someone to accompany you. No need. A bodyguard tagging along would just make me stand out. It's trouble and you know it. Are you certain you'll be fine on your own, though? Sure, as long as you aren't hiding anything else from me. I'm looking for someone, not investigating a scary smuggler ring in Lungmen. How much trouble can it be? At least talk to Master Shen. As a veteran boatman, he can help you get anywhere in Changshu. Very well. Incidentally, is there a Jingyan Peak among Changshu's 3 mounts and 17 peaks? Just how stubborn are you, bitch? Well, you're the only lead I've got. Not letting you go. You're all alone, with no lackeys. Are you sure you want to start a fight in a bustling part of town like this? How much did that thief from Lungmen pay you to cover him like this? I don't know how things got to this point, but Mr. Lee is one of our most important partners. Partners? Business then. And you believe him just like that? You sure he's not swindling you? I trust Rhode Island, so I trust him. Simple as that. Oh, seems we won't be coming to an agreement then. Looks like. But Innkeeper Zheng also said not to get you any more mixed up in this than you already are. Oh, judging by your reaction, Mr. Lee got it right then. You're in this with the Innkeeper. You playing me for a fool, are you? You're just some shady girl from who knows where. How dare you make a fool of me? Fine, I'll make sure you pay for this. So we're doing this for real, huh? Alright, I've actually got a few things to ask you. Nothing to do with Mr. Lee, but still. Regarding Miss Du, she may be what the hell was that? She may be my daughter, but I'm ashamed to say she is still very immature. No, she's your family. I'm in no position to meddle in your household affairs. How many inns and restaurants have you opened here in your town? I've spent my entire life savings on this business. Fortunately, my old pals take care of me these days. The connections I've made over the years finally come in handy. Well, I take connections to survive in this business, of course. In the end, it's all down to how capable you are. Being a businessman is another thing entirely. It takes skills to start a business, but connections to build it up. No doubt you're already well aware of that, though. Not at all. My father always tells me what youngsters like me lack isn't persistence or conviction. It's an understanding of everything that surrounds us. Wise words. Indeed, being holed up in a castle in the clouds is no way to live. Still, General Zhuo is a good father, but it doesn't matter what your father thinks. What is truly important is what you think. Don't worry about that too much. When you are young, there is no shame in letting your frustrations, curiosity, or anger get the better of you. On the contrary, young man, you don't want to lose your edge too early. Thank you for your advice. My advice wasn't just for you. It may sound simple, but it is no simple matter. I had to hear it for myself all the same. My daughter, what a headache she is. Ha! Nice moves. Spare me the act. It didn't even connect. How come you're like a whole different person when you're fighting? My mate, Mr. Nothing, is like that too. Are you all Are all you Yanese like this? I don't want to hurt anyone, that's all. You call us thieves, didn't you? Aren't you going a little too easy on a thief? Save it. That's not going to fly this time. How about we stop beating around the bush then? Sure thing, I'm all for it. Gotta warn you though, I'm not exactly speaking for Mr. Lee here. Doesn't matter, neither you nor that conman are the honest sort. The sooner we get this conversation over with, the better. Who did you say you were again? Codename Kroose, an operator currently in deployment from Rhode Island. So Mr. Nothing is that guy's codename? Something like that. He's not quite on the job just yet though. You work behind fake names, hiding knives beneath your smiles. What a sketchy lot. Wow, never heard that one before. Someone hired us to take the cup from the Illuminate. Yanese is a tricky language, and I can't say I've had time to master it, but wouldn't you say using a phrase, take back, here is a little too convenient? I trust Mr. Lee. If you really had a grievance, or if this were all a misunderstanding, did it really have to come to blows? This is the Yanese heartland, not Syracuse or Bolivar. Violence won't get you anywhere. I have my reasons to open with hostilities instead of courtesies. That's it. Do you seriously not know anything? Oh, so now I'm the one who's getting played for a fool, huh? If you really don't know, you best stay out of this and dig no further. I've already spoken with the Illuminate. If you insist on sticking your nose into this, you'll ruin it for everyone. Well, aren't you a righteous one? What are we doing is righteous. Naturally, our reasons are righteous too. Now that I've told you this much, I might as well make this clear, whether you believe me or not. I didn't rob the Liang estate. But you know who did. Perhaps. You say you already talked to Mr. Lee, so how about a truce? Can you give us an explanation we'd accept? An explanation? You said the Illuminate was hired by Magistrate Liang to deliver a goblet from Lungmen. So the one who hired the escort association could be someone even Liang Shun is afraid of to offend. What? It's beyond complicated. Don't count on me to explain it to you. Miss Du. Benefactor, are you alright? You punk. You're here to get in our way too. I haven't even said anything yet. Get him, boys. That's enough chit-chat for one night. Excuse me. Get out of here. Stop badgering that guy already. Alright. Hey, first you say you'll come and get me and now you don't. Must you always give me such trouble? Hold on. You're in Huffpat and you know how to listen, so I'll leave you with a piece of advice. The mountain rapids are turbulent and steep. Stay out of this. Benefactor. I'm fine, don't worry. Miss Du, are you okay? Are those two working with the Illuminate? Why don't we just tell them the truth? I know what I'm doing. Oh. Old man Zhang wants to dump this on us. Well, that's not going to happen. I've got a deal with the Illuminate. The old banner has flown long enough. It's time to switch it out for a new one. quick sip of tea here. Alright, and now for the after stage story. Midday, the skies are clear, as though the heavy rains the night before had been nothing but a lie. The second tallest of Shangshu's 3 mounts is Mount Juki. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Juki? Juki? Whatever. Juki is home to only 2 of the 17 peaks, the lesser of which is Nini Peak. There are 2,222 steps leading up to Nini Peak, While this may seem like a fascinating coincidence, additional steps were added specifically for the gimmick. The steps lead heavenward through the clouds. The higher you get, the fewer visitors can be found. A lush green mountain rarely ever trodden by footsteps. A few men can be seen here and there. All of them appear to be pole carriers on first glance. This is no Mount Tien, but truly, what a fine summit. How do you suppose they built a tea house up here in the mountains when the roads aren't so much as paved? By hand? How else? On our way up here, we saw a pole carrier walking down the mountain, didn't we? They do this every day, carrying anything from foodstuff to bricks up from the base of the mountain. From what I hear, a single trip takes them a good few hours. It's very toilsome work. Even today, some remote mountains still rely on pole carriers for their survival. Can't they build a ropeway for some cable cars or something? First they need a plot of land to build it on, wouldn't they? Right, not that I know the first thing about building ropeways. Those guys really are amazing though. They probably rank in quite a bit of dough, don't they? Not until recently. I saw on the news not too long ago that the Shengshu magistrate thinks very highly of the coolies. The government even footing the bill for the tea houses. Pardon, excuse me. Noon tea. You got it, Master Shang. Haven't seen you for a couple of days. How have you been? Same old. What were you up to? Saw my son. Oh, it's that time again. I'd forgotten. If you told me sooner, we could have gone together. Don't worry about it. He likes it quiet. Ugh. He likes it quiet. It's been years now. I'm only saying this because we know each other for so well. And I mean no disrespect, but well, we can't be stuck in the past. You speaking for Zheng Zhu? Come on, you know he personally invested in all of the tea houses here. You're on his payroll, you speak for him, no offense taken. That's half my own opinion too. Half offended then. It's been years already, just hear me out. Have some tea and think it through. Isn't that the man we saw go down the mountain earlier? I think so. It hasn't been that long, has it? He's back already. He and his buddies must have some kind of relay system, so he only has to go down halfway. That's the only plausible explanation. No good. Can't get through to him. There's no response, which means Nian and Dusk aren't in Shengshu yet. They might not be following the mission directives. Benefactor? Yeah, I know what you're about to say. I'm hardly a clever man, and I certainly can't claim to remember everything I see, but if my eyes did not deceive me, the case that Mr. Li handed to Mr. Liang carried the same patterns as that trinket that Nian had. Must have something to do with them suddenly breaking off from the team. What should we do? Well, I kind of saw this coming too. I talked to Lava, you see, asked her to contact the operators near Shangshu and have them come and get us as soon as she made it to the office. Oh, so you came prepared. Nian was acting awfully dodgy the whole way. I figured she was up to something. Are you suggesting we stay here for the time being then? We bumped into Mr. Li. Naturally we have to help him. It's in the contract and everything. I see. You'll handle this fairly and impartially while remaining vigilant and conscientious. You continue to command my utmost respect, Benefactor. But Mr. Li's a smart man. He never bothered requesting Rhode Island's assistance ever since we ran into him at the inn. Maybe he's been trying to tell us not to get involved. If this really does have to do with Nian though, not to mention Taihe and Zhuo Li. Anyway, we'll check out the rendezvous point when the time comes. Ian's probably gonna be a no-show, but Dusk isn't that kind of girl. We might see her there. Right, Dusk is likely to drop a hint or two at least. No matter how I slice it though, sometimes things are just too coincidental. Nothing, mate. You didn't have any particular reason for choosing that inn, right? Oh, you jest. Suppose I had the ulterior motive. How could I have counted on a gloom pincer knocking my car over and then us running into each other? Then just who is it that made everything line up so perfectly? Oh. Benefactor? That was a jest, right? A joke? A jape? You couldn't possibly be suspected. Benefactor? Dad? What's the matter? I thought I was in charge of this whole thing. Someone has to clean up the mess. If you can't do it, then clearly I could do... Wrong. Even if you could, you can't. As long as you're still Du Yaoi and not Du, head of the Escort Association, there is absolutely no way. Why? Do you still fail to realize I didn't seize the target when he was at the inn? Why I stopped you, even? It was because of that Kautos with these skills, and nothing dude... It seems you still have much to learn. What do you mean? You have no eye for people. Dad! Do you want me to inherit the association, or do you want me to be the naive Miss Du my whole life? An escort has many enemies you don't understand. And so I should continue to be the stupid, ignorant daughter of the association's head. I'm supposed to let everyone think that Zheng, head of the Escort Association, is now just an honest businessman, and I'm a successor who's not up to snuff. You know that's not who I am. Gee, my girl. Do you know the size of the bone the young people at the Escort Association have to pick with you? What do they know? And what do you know? You're trying to wash your hands of the business, yet you don't even realize how long the younger generation has been unhappy with the current state of the association. Then are you telling me, in all honesty, that starting a new association with those inexperienced disciples is what you truly want? Is that who you are now? All I know is that you made me do this, Dad, and that if I succeed, not only will they all bow down to me, I'll have a fine new addition to my rap sheet. I'm worried that you might not have what it takes. And I'm even more worried that you're actually trying to mess this up. I don't know what you're talking about. If you've changed your mind, then hurry up and tell me. And if you haven't, then stop worrying about me. How did it go, miss? What did the innkeeper say? How do you think it went? Zheng got played. They switched it out with a decoy. At least we don't have to screw this one up ourselves. Sounds like he's already on top of it. Not necessarily. He knows what we're up to. Huh? He knows? What should we do then? If our masters ground us, we can't do nothing. Solving a problem like this can take a while, but creating a new one is simple enough. I had the same thought when I first visited Changshu years ago, but the people here are really quite something. From Jinluan to Liyun, how many wondrous peaks are and Jesus, how... what? Precipitous? From Jinluan to Liu, how many wondrous peaks and precipitous paths will we have to cross? The city is dispersed along the mountain chain, and here and there are settlements scattered all across. What a wondrous sight. So, have you come to understand why you came to be robbed? I'm not stupid. Though I trust Liang Shun, and therefore I trust you, Master Shen. Uh, well, you've got smarts, I'll give you that. Is that what Liang Shun said about me? I came to that conclusion myself. What does Mr. Liang come into? Where does Mr. Liang come into this? He once told me that I put up a front and my predictions never come true, but I have a good eye for people. That's what I meant. It's all a matter of experience. Let's go. This is a Haya's Hunt on Peakets, and we haven't seen any pavilions on our way up here. Kuijiang Peak isn't far from here, but why pick that one? If we're looking for someone, shouldn't we start where more people live? What did they used to call Zhuxiang? Xingyan Peak. It was difficult to write, so they called it what it got turned into, a tourist spot. Bingo. I had a dream that I was looking for someone on that peak. Now, if that isn't strange, sure you didn't learn about the old name on your last trip to Shangshu? Maybe. Or perhaps I have a mountain spirit guiding me. You know how to use arts, right? I think they call them Originium arts now. An inkhorn of a name, I tell you, but they've always been around, and may as well be the gods and spirits you speak of. Now that's not quite right, Master Shen. It is man who use Furu, and thus it is man who triumphs over nature. It is man who triumphs over nature? I think I like that saying. Alright, Originium arts it is. I don't really get these Originium studies. What are you spacing out for? Did I just say something? Man who triumphs over nature? No. Never mind, I was probably daydreaming. Kujiang Peak. Junjiang Peak. We looked there numerous times, but the search always came up empty-handed. Naturally. Yet the Sui regulation has nonetheless come to a decision. Yes. Has her presence in Shangshu all these years ever proven to be a transgression, though? Why then did she lend Yan her strength, defending the borders dozens of times? Over such a long stretch of time, it certainly defies common sense. But the situation at hand seems to be going against your wishes, Mr. Liang. If she is a shadow, then the goblet from Lungmen must be a flicker of light. Did the light come first, shadow? A difficult yet meaningless question. What is truly difficult are the people who try to answer this question. The Sui regulator came to me directly to reason with me in person. Naturally, I understand the gravity of the circumstances. You promised General Zhuo that when the cup arrived in Shangshu, you would feign its theft, allowing it to make its way to his son, Lord Zuo. All to fool certain individuals. Correct. Though I could possibly have explained this all to old Li, an outsider, then you should not have chosen a Lungmenite to handle this. Given my status, I can't act rashly. It would do more harm than good if it blemishes the early spring festivities. And as the magistrate, all matters, both large and small, are of the utmost importance to me. Is he not a friend of yours? He is my friend, but he is also an outsider. He can hardly blame you, there are too many eyes. What of the cup? As I entrusted my friend with the matter, naturally it is with him. You wish to have the Lungmenite uncover Ling's whereabouts without lifting a finger yourself. Correct. Oh, rumor has it that cup can possess the things around it. Is it true? Mr. Tae, I have a question myself. Please go ahead. Let us cast aside our status and speak as equals. The Sui regulator bypassed the Ministry of Rights for this matter, far overstepping its bounds. Once the Ministry learns of this, there will likely be quite the quarrel between the two parties. You are the Deputy Monitor Censor of the Department of Discipline and Supervision. What are your thoughts?
That is a mouthful, holy hell.
I am indebted to the General, and I am merely repaying the favor. It comes down to personal feelings, then? That is correct. The Department of Discipline and Supervision's Monitor Censor oversees hundreds of officers and champions integrity. It seems to me there should be no place for personal feelings. If the Department of Discipline and Supervision learns of this and finds the Ministry of Rights in the right and the Sui regulator in the wrong, what will become of these personal feelings? General loyalty and forsake righteousness. There weren't even the slightest hesitations in your answer, Mr. Taihei. Naturally. It was the General himself who fought me those words. Truly a fine man, then. You needn't worry, however. General Zhuo is a Yanese soldier. He would never do anything illegal. Did something force the Sui regulator's hand, then, even if it means bypassing the Ministry of Rights? Right, Lord Exorcist Zhuo Zhuanliu is a man who normally gives the affairs in the borderlands his utmost attention. Who could have diverted his attention to a mere goblet? It's no trivial matter, but hardly a significant one either. And I am certain you already know who it is. Please take care of Mr. Liang. It seems the spring will be colder than expected. Here we are. Aside from a few houses here and there, this is the only town near Xujiang Peak. What kind of place is this? Before Shangshu City was built, it was near the border. The mountain was full of mineral resources and many blacksmiths and stonesmiths worked here. What about now? With the world at peace, the nomadic cities are all parked around the mountain range. Aside from the few forges kept around as tourist spots, the town is mostly bed and breakfasts now. What lies at the top of Xujiang Peak then? No idea. Perhaps just a place for wine and chess. After all, if it were scenic, there'd be no need to go look for them. Most likely it's a remote place no one ever visits. I know Shangshu's mountains and waters like the back of my hand. Never heard of any pavilions off the beaten path though. Xujiang Peak has only an empty swath of land. The legend goes that a god staring into the deep waters there attained enlightenment by forgetting the waters surrounding it. From then on, everyone called it the Field of Forgotten Water. I see. Sounds like our friend won't be easy to find then. How about we start with the wine shops? Might be futile without knowing what they look like though. Any ideas, Master Shen? When seeking a man, there is this one simple trick that has worked since ancient times. Have them seek you out instead. True, but a little passive for my tastes. I have an idea though. What is it? Need something? Miss Ning. Reading for leisure, I see. Fine tastes as always, my lord. Reading for leisure enriches the mind. If there is something you would like to ask, please go ahead.
My lord, is something weighing on your mind?
What do you mean?
Your friend from Lungmen.
There is no hiding anything from you, Miss Ning. There is a minor matter, though it's entirely personal.
What does it concern?
We are looking for someone.
What kind of someone?
An old friend of ours, a practitioner of the martial arts.
I see. Is that all?
His name is Wai.
It seems a simple thing.
I did say it was a minor matter. You needn't worry.
You should hide no secrets from me, my lord.
And I have none to hide.
Very well, then.
The lady before him walks across the room and takes a glance at the bookshelf. She appears engulfed in a sense of defeat. Fortunately, her mood quickly lightens. It often changes rapidly.
My lord, the book you were reading, is it a historical record?
It's about an old catastrophe that happened within the bounds of Shangshu's 3 mounts.
You seem to be very fond of that piece of history.
I saw it with my own eyes. I can never forget it.
If I remember correctly, Tale of the 3 Mounts?
I'm surprised you remember. It seems I've reread that book far too many times.
I only happened to notice. May I borrow it? I will be paying Uncle Bai a visit. I can read it in my downtime.
As you wish.
Very well, but...
Oh, forgive me. Let me get it for you. I haven't been able to read it much lately, so I placed it fairly high on the shelf.
Thank you.
So you'll be visiting Bai, the potter?
Yes.
Please give him my regards.
Of course. I will take my leave now. Tale of the 3 Mounts. My lord, I am sure you never realized, but I have actually already taken a peek at your bookshelf. Once when you worked late into the night and fell asleep in your study. He's never put this book up so high up. There was a new case on the shelf too. What could be inside?
Quick sippy sip. Oh. Alright, and let's continue with Stage 4's story. Called Candle Holder. Let's begin with the before stage. I was born in a small village 100 li away from what is today Shangshu. It was a beautiful oasis. If you gazed out from the village, you would see a range of mountains that formed a line. The line enveloped a swath of land named Shangshu. There was a catastrophe when I was young. The mountains covered a wide area, and the looming clouds covered an even wider area. The catastrophe messengers were quick at their work. As we evacuated, we could see the sparks lighting up the sky. All of us knew that Shangshu's 3 mounts would never look the same after the catastrophe passed. I was still very young. All I remember is the adults swaying backs in their forced smiles. The rescue team moved quickly, but all of us knew that the houses, the farms, and the orchards would all perish in the storm. We passed a mountain on our way. With my own eyes, I saw a drunken woman lounging in a pavilion. I saw her share a toast with the sky. I saw her fall unconscious in the pavilion, completely inebriated. But the rescue team didn't stop. The adults around me pretended as though they didn't see her. A black goblet. Was this the cup she drank from? Miss Lee.
Sir, do you need something?
Can you describe the guest just now?
Of course, I could never forget a forte hunk like him.
Prepare 2 boxes of pastries and pay Miss Ning a visit. If Miss Ning meets with the forte there, come back and let me know.
Very well, though why aren't you, My apologies, I shouldn't have asked. I will go right now.
Benefactor, I asked around and it seems we've arrived at a rendezvous point if we follow this path up the mountain. But suppose we really don't find anything there, what should we do?
Then we'll just have to go back to the Liang estate and find Mr. Lee. He said Magistrate Liang asked him to look into the goblet's owner. We should help him out.
But what if Miss Du spoke the truth, and it was indeed a man of renown who seeks the cup? Would Magistrate Liang truly know nothing of it? But would it all of this was a mere premeditated conspiracy, why would Magistrate Liang need to go through the trouble and put on such a show?
It's not like we haven't ever seen any big shots ourselves.
You mean the boy who claimed to be a messenger?
If only the doctor was around, we could have just handed all this trouble off. I miss the dorm's soft beds.
Why must we always mix ourselves up in trouble?
Finish your tea. It's time to go.
Oh god, here she comes. Like I said in episode 1, she has a way thicker accent when you just read the text compared to Kroose. I am not gonna do the accent, I'm just gonna read the lines, because I cannot do these freaking accents, especially an accent that's just about to happen.
Should be around here.
Hot water come through, out of the way. Watch out! In Rimbilitonian. What even is that? Struth?
Struth, don't scratch the paint, copper. A letter from just now?
God, whatever she's saying, I don't know. I'm just reading shit.
It's past the rendezvous time. They really didn't come.
What should we do now? We don't know if Benefactor Lava has been to the office. Perhaps we should wait a little longer.
Or we could meet up with Mr. Lee first. An ink spirit?
Hold on. Can those things leave the scrolls?
I have no idea myself.
Hey, little guy, where did you come from? Where's your owner? Gah! No biting, let go.
You're the one who provoked it. Bitey, that's enough.
Ow!
Dusk! We ran into a bit of trouble. You'll have to bear with me talking to you this way. Trouble? Don't worry about it. It's nothing you can help with. In Changshu, we ran into some court envoys who were investigating what happened at Mount Huishi in Kubu City. They said they're from the Sui regulator. I thought Nian would have everything sorted out by the time she came knocking on my door. It seems I should have kept my expectations low with the way she goes about things. Did you fight them?
Heaven forbid we shouldn't try to tussle with the Mandarins. Not that we would have won if we tried.
They mentioned you and Nian, but it didn't seem like they were looking into you too seriously. They came to Shangshu on a different mission. I don't know about that. Do you have any clues? It's got something to do with the Black Goblet. Black Goblet. We're helping a certain Mr. Lee to look into the cup's master too. The cup looked like it had a pattern on it, much like that trinket that Nian gave Benefactor Lava. Heh. A cup. No wonder something seems strange. I have a pretty strong hunch as to who that cup belongs to. She can help us with quite a bit if we actually manage to find her. At the very least, she can help me keep Nian's mouth shut. Dusk, get out of here already. The old fart's rambling away. He's really pissing me off. It's your turn. Is that Nian? You must have misheard. Heavenly Forge. Perhaps we should keep you no longer. You said you were looking for the Master of the Cup, weren't you? Find her before the Mandarins do. Persuade her to help us. At the very least, drag this out until we get to Shangshu. Don't let the Suyu regulator take her away. I'm counting on you. We're back?
Benefactor, is it just me, or does this baffling trickery of Dusk's really come in handy?
It's not worldly arts anyway, so don't bother trying to learn it. But it is convenient, I'll give you that.
You're looking for a pavilion. I'm guessing that a pole carrier like you, having come up and down the mountain so many times, the range here must be like your own. Your own backyard. Let me tell you then, the 3 mounts and 17 peaks are full of pavilions, be it old rest stops or newly built scenic spots. It's tough to find a specific one.
You can do it.
It'll take a lot of work and I get paid by the trip, you know. Not like anyone across the world would work for free.
Indeed. Here's your reward then.
You're from Lungmen?
Yes, what should I call you, kind sir?
The name's Shang, like Shang-Chi. What do you want me to do for you? Be your guide, or do you want me to find somewhere that fits the description and report back?
This is of the essence. It'll be for the better if we can split up.
You're not from around here, and you're with a boatman. I've spent a very long time in the river, and I am familiar enough with the area. The rivers are nothing like the mountain roads. They're both in Shangshu. You can skip the Bili, Jiu, and Jingruan peaks. They're just small peaks that people back in the old days decided to count towards the 17 peaks. Very well. We're actually focusing on search today on the Shujian peak here. I'd appreciate it if you could find me some clues before sundown, and please do look out for any towns with famous wine shops while you're in the mountains. Wine? Aren't all those who frequent pavilions connoisseurs of drink? They're always passed out drunk in them. I'll ask around then. Much thanks. We'll meet in the tea house there in the evening then. Very well. See you. Well, if you aren't a casual guy, you pulled a random person off the street and asked them to help you. Aren't you afraid of getting duped? I'm a detective, gotta take a risk every now and then. Can we trust him? Just barely. He got attention from all the shopkeepers along the road. That means he's got decent relationships. A pole carrier who would swindle this little money wouldn't have such a good reputation in the neighborhood. Besides, it's better than searching blindly. You have a point. Where do we head next then? Any clues? A mysterious person that our magistrate insists is true. Their whereabouts unknown nonetheless. Wouldn't hang out in a normal town like this.
So much of the problem lies in the cup. Besides, if someone's bent on getting their hands on this no-name goblet, it only means that this little trinket is the key. Master Shen, suppose the two of us run into the thieves from the other day. Do you think we can fend them off together? I've spent a few decades on the river, and the only thing I've ever worried about is how my grandchildren are doing in school. I've never fought anyone, and it would be quite the problem if I ever ran into a bandit. All I can do is be your tour guide, kid. If you're worried, you better go to Mr. Liang soon and have him find you a bodyguard or two. You haven't ever needed to lift a finger in your line of business. I've been boating on the rivers for a few dozen years. I've never gotten myself into any of those hairy situations. I can guarantee your safety if we run into some wild beasts on our journey through the mountains. But with all the construction around the mountains the past couple of years, you won't come across any beasts. So there aren't any wild beasts, but there are creatures with metal plates on their backs. Now, what's that about? I don't know myself. Where did you see that? I saw it. Right there.
This is...
It's gone.
You scared it away.
Hey. Need something? Do you have the cup? We work for Innkeeper Zheng. He has a small eatery in this town as well. He wants to treat you to lunch.
Run. I really understand what Miss Du and the Innkeeper are thinking. This is such a pain in the ass.
First they want us to steal the goods, and then they want us to ensure no one makes off with it, and they even want us to get in the employer's way. Hey, get up. Take a look over there.
Stop right there.
Hello, sir. May I help you?
I'm traveling right now, but I lost my wallet. I don't know anybody here. Think you can help me out?
Did all of you lose your wallets together?
No, we couldn't be bothered to bring our backpacks with us, you know? So we put our cameras and wallets and whatnot all in one bag. It's the bag that we lost. We ain't gonna ask much from you, just head back down the mountain and call the cops at the hotel there. I promise it'll be worth your while. Please help us.
Look at the time already. Sundown here comes early, huh? Nothing, mate. How do we get to the Liang estate again?
This way, benefactor. Changshu's streets and alleys are vivid and colorful. There's a certain charm to gazing out at the mountains in the distance, and the markets below from atop the skyscrapers here. It's an entirely different scenery than what you'd find in Kowu.
Right, it's got a nice vibe and the view is great. Not to mention when the wind blows, you can sometimes smell the rust. Am I right? It has been a while since my blade has last unsheathed. How could it possibly rust? You need us for something? Of course, Rhode Island has gotten too involved. So you've been digging up dirt on us? Here's a Yanese idiom you might like, Miss Kroose. Justice casts a wide net. A medical company that strives to rescue all infected and sees them as equals, regardless of their race, status, and wealth. Even the purest of mountain springs must be no match for Rhode Island in purity. Thanks for the compliment. Oh, please don't get the wrong idea. I didn't mean that as a threat. After all, if Rhode Island was as a dishonest organization, you two would be in jail right now. In other words, I would like you to I would like you to see our current situation as a form of trust. Should I say thanks? However, infected should not be wandering about in such a bustling part of town out in the open. Safety remains a concern after all. Would you follow me? Let's take this somewhere else. What should we do, benefactor? This gets sketchy through and through. Not necessarily. And it's not like we have a choice. Sure, let's go somewhere else. Very well, I see you two are a formidable talent as well. I'll wait for you at the top of the tower to the north in a quarter hour. Is that what you guys call Qingyong in Yanese martial arts? More or less, of course, considering his martial prowess, he's no normal man. Alright, fine. He's extraordinary, actually. I don't see you get this serious often. You jest, my benefactor. I've always solemn and serious about every last detail. To possess such fine skills at his age, he must have studied under a distinguished master to hone his extraordinary talent. Even that might be an understatement. His abilities are likely beyond our imagination. Like I was saying, if he had that bull of a Mandarin for a bodyguard, he is not to be taken lightly. They know about Nian and Dusk. Obviously they know about Mr. Lee too. Dusk said we have to find the goblet's master first. Getting involved with the Yanese Mandarin though, Amiya's going to chew me out when we get back. If only the doctor. Guess we can't always count on the doctor, huh?
By the way, if it's confusing why Kroose keeps complaining, oh, if only the doctor was here, or if only the doctor this and that, pretty much what she means is, if only we had the doctor's insight, considering he is busy somewhere else. Just to clarify. Anyway, continuing with the after story. Well, that was an unfruitful day. I've never had such headaches back at the agency in Lungmen. Because Mr. Liang left you no leads to follow? No, it's actually because I have a lot of friends in Lungmen. And aside from Mr. Liang, the only friend I have in Shengshu is you, Master Shen. There's a crowd at his door, isn't there? Doesn't look like they're trying to be discreet. Hey, the Arknights here too, right? Don't be rash. Just don't let them get away. Keep an eye on them. I don't suppose we walked into their trap? Weird, it doesn't matter how glorious they were in the old days, they're just a bunch of restaurants now. Do they really have this much influence? There's no one else around. Wait. Master Shang. I'm here. Have a seat. Would you like some tea? I asked around. There are a few spots that fit the description. Very few visitors, but there are some pavilions that have been around for a while. I marked them on the map. As for your wine shops, wherever there's a settlement, it's practically guaranteed that there's one. These places fit the bill. There's one at Shujian Peak. I have no idea myself, but old Jian insisted that there is. These are all out-of-the-way trails. No normal sightseers would go there. Be careful. I see. Thank you, Master Sheng. I will take my leave then. Master Sheng, do you know those men outside the door? Don't know them. Goodbye. What's going on? The innkeeper, Master Sheng, and the Illuminate have dealings with each other. Should we still block the way out here? What the hell are you even trying to block? Let's go. We're out of here. You're back.
That trip was a complete waste. Please don't ask.
I'm just worried about bandits coming after you.
As long as you're looking out for me, they won't make much trouble. What's more, our hot little goblet isn't in my possession anymore. You should be careful yourself.
No need. We found out who ambushed you. It's all a misunderstanding. They thought you were a smuggler pillaging artifacts.
Well, it sounds like Shinshu's
I can never pronounce the word. Chivalric code
is alive and well.
That was quite the brawl for a minor misunderstanding. Don't blame them. Master Shen, Lee isn't a local. I'm afraid I need you to take care of him for the next couple of days.
Of course, it's no big deal.
I know things are hectic at the docks lately. I pay you double your wage for your time.
Don't worry about it, Mr. Liang.
We never talk money. I can't do wrong by my citizens. You've been a great help, and I might need more of your help in the future.
Fine then. If that's how you feel, then I won't push it. I'll stick with our boy Lee for as long as he's here. Those of us who make a living on the mountain trails and rivers know the 3 mountains and 17 peaks, like the back of our hands.
Thank you.
Liang Shun.
What's the matter?
We'll talk inside. I remember telling you that as long as you aren't hiding anything from me, this will be nothing complicated. Tell me, what exactly is the story behind the cup and its master? You can't tell me?
No.
I ran into those guys again in the mountains today.
What?
So that little misunderstanding of yours isn't actually very convincing. How high are the stakes?
As high as heaven.
You should have told me sooner.
I was afraid you get dragged into the mess if you knew too much.
So you still think I'm not part of the mess?
Forgive me. You should get some rest. If our friend proves too difficult to locate, then you don't have to worry about it.
We've come this far, you can't suddenly have second thoughts about this, can you? I appreciate the feeling, but if I really call it quits here, that's the end of the good life for you. I know that much. So what's on the table? You can at least tell me that, can't you?
Both the people and the country.
Well, the stakes do sound high. And it's such a tall tale, I'm finding it kind of hard to believe.
I would never joke about such a serious matter.
Of course, I know you wouldn't. Let me change the subject then. You wouldn't be entertaining a lovely lady this evening, would you?
There is nothing between me and Miss Ning.
I never said there's anything between you two.
Your eyes said enough.
Really? Everyone always ridicules you for how unsociable you are, but even Huai Tianpei's girl is all grown up now. You have to have scored a home run at least once or twice. You have your reasons, huh?
How about a drink? It's high time we had a drink together.
Right. We're long overdue. You truly are a swift one, Miss Kroose. The innkeeper wasn't kidding. Where is the man with the fan? We couldn't risk a complete wipeout in case you had any traps set up here, can we? How peculiar. I thought you would send him while you hide in the shadows. As the saying goes, one should sacrifice a pawn to save one's queen. Not only are you the queen, you are a crossbowman and an escape artist. Even so, you came personally. Well, my mate Nothing isn't a regular operator yet. I can't just have him fly into the face of danger. And yet, you still have a mind for danger, especially when you have to go in alone, don't you? If you're the kind of bloke who goes all I can see right through you just to seem smart, I'd rather go home and have a sleep. So temperamental. Forget I said anything then. I'll get to the point. We've looked into Rhode Island a little. With so little time, we didn't dig up a lot of information. I don't claim to fully know you, but at least know you can be trusted. Can I? Not only did I butt my head into this affair, I'm an infected, you know? You must put the right people to the right job. Oripathy is a misfortune that all infected face. What does that have to do with their responsibilities or skills? I would like Rhode Island to do us a favor. No, in fact, if you don't help us, then I'm afraid you'd be making an enemy of us. You want Mr. Lee's goblet? When I chased the thief that night, right away the tracks split into two. It was dark out and you moved quick, but I never took my eyes off the one who'd actually left the Ling estate. I lost them not long thereafter though, and then a certain someone showed up just like it was a planned diversion. The innkeeper drew my attention. Was he drawing it away from you? No wonder he thinks so highly of you. Bingo, eh? What does the cup have to do with Sui? You know of Sui? Oh, looks like you're not lying, though you know only half the story. Is that so? Considering you see me and Dusk as friends, and that she told you about this much, they must see Rhode Island as a lifeline of sorts. In years past, so long as they stayed in line and broke no rules, the Sui regulator would turn a blind eye to whatever they did. But nowadays, things are different. Not only are the times changing, you are on friendly terms with Nian, and you even brought Dusk off her mountain to put you on the Sui regulator's wrong side. We were just... I know you meant no ill will, but what comes next? How is Great Yan meant to know that they are not planning anything when they are all in one place? Great Yan. I'm not trying to exaggerate. Nian and Dusk disappeared not long after they reached Shangshu, and it just so happens that a goblet associated with them made its way here around the same time. Furthermore, the man of the hour is on Rhode Island's side. This is a tremendous coincidence. Wouldn't you say so, Miss Kroose? And I'm not one to believe in coincidences. Oof. I forgot to hang the clothes to dry. Oh no, if I don't get to that now, there won't be anything to wear tomorrow. Shengzhong, huh? You shouldn't have come. Now get lost. I'll pretend I didn't see you. There was a young man who asked me to look for a pavilion in the mountains. We all know things were complicated when you left, but not only did you leave us without an explanation, you even set the innkeeper up, going by the rules that makes you a traitor. Then your men surrounded him. Please, traitor, Brother Shang, I'm begging you. If anyone sees us, things will get hairy. Let's put a stop to this. Who is that man? Brother Shang, I'm asking you, who is that man? The Luminite? Yes. It's all business. It's got nothing to do with outsiders, and I have nothing to tell you. It's been 10 full years, and at the end of this one, I've been thinking of giving the association an explanation soon. I'll give all of you an explanation. I'll settle the score with Jingxiu. I still can't tell you, Brother Shang. Liu, who pulled out of the fire? Who pulled you out of the fire all those years ago? I can't say. It has to do with the goblet, doesn't it? The cup from 10 years ago. You... Bingo then. So that's the goblet the kids have been talking about. Hey, you didn't interrogate any of the young disciples, did you?
This must be fate.
Hey, Shengshang, don't just leave after you've got the answer from me. Our years of friendship mean nothing to you, huh? Hey! Huh, looks like you're a better drinker than you used to be. The Liang Jun of the good old days would probably be curling up into a ball under the table right about now.
I drink by myself every now and then.
Well, that's our magistrate, Liang. You find the time to drink even as a government official. Hold on, you drink by yourself every now and then. That doesn't mean that I think it means, does it?
I drown my sorrows. It's human nature.
They say that it takes a personality change to build your tolerance for alcohol. Wise words, don't you think?
It's a fair point.
When we drown our sorrows, it's a whole myriad of relationship we're trying to drown. To tell you the truth, I was actually pretty surprised when I saw you again.
Why is that?
The Liang Jun I know is a methodical, taciturn fellow. I remember the time in school outside the chamber of teachers emeriti when you said you were going to bless all under heaven. You said the world's a harsh, cold place, so you built a fire to warm everyone up, and they would never know darkness again.
I was just spouting words. We were young. Perhaps those were the exact words that led me to reflect on myself now.
It was years ago.
Many years ago. You aren't the refined young master you used to be either.
Time flies and I frittered all mine away.
It's been a long time since you left home. Have you spoken to your family?
It hasn't been long since I left home.
You're saying that the detective agency in Lungmen is your home now?
Of course.
What about back in Jingdong?
Jingdong, or Kongtung, as we call it, is just a place with a house, some lanterns, and a few old friends.
We've both changed.
I hope that when we clink our glasses together, it's not the sound of our past ambitions crumbling away that we hear. No, that's not quite right. You're a mandarin of some standing, and the magistrate responsible for a city. If the masses are happy with you, perhaps you've already achieved your dreams.
We still have a long road ahead of us. Shengshu has always been a bustling place. What I'm trying to accomplish is just gilding the lily.
I hope that you won't forget who we once were then. Gonbui.
Gunbei.
Seems like Yan's research into occult mysticism is the greatest secret across this whole world. You make it sound like we don't want to share. They may take different forms, but all nations approach the same problems in their own way. Everyone faces this issue. Though because of certain historical reasons, Great Yan's Sui regulator happens to be at the forefront of Farron mythology, always has been, always will be. Kierang still worships them as gods, and Sami attempts to coexist with them, but the Sui regulator's research has advanced to unparalleled heights. So the Sui in Sui regulator is the same Sui that Nian talked about? Did Nian tell you about those legends? The Old Emperor, the Wild Hunt, and what they uncovered? That's the stuff Lava talked about. In ancient times, the people thought of certain creatures as gods, and with civilization's advancements, they gradually began to go into hiding. The Sui is one such creature. Certain creatures? Whether they actually meet the definition of a living being is up to debate, and I don't suppose we need to go there. All you need to know is that when at last they come to bring destruction to the world, Yan has the power to annihilate them. That's all. Fair enough. This is not exactly confidential Sui regulator information, but it's not exactly common knowledge either. I'm telling you all this not because I want a scholarly discussion. Hmm. Nian, Dusk, and the one who's in hiding somewhere in Shengshu, all of them are under the Sui regulator surveillance. Normally, these things would not happen at such a pace, but then one day the clouds all disappeared from that mountain. By the time the Sui regulator candle holders arrived, Dusk was nowhere to be found. That happened just a few days ago. It took only a few days for the candle holders to brief the court on this matter too. That's something. There's quite a bit of distance between Mount Huxi and the capital, isn't there? Rhode Island is getting itself involved without knowing the whole picture. The ignorant are blessed. On the contrary, it's unimaginable that you would work with those two without knowing anything. And now we would like Rhode Island to follow the Sui regulator's arrangements and persuade the Lungmanite to surrender the goblet himself. I knew it. Liang Shun was under your thumb the whole time. Correct. He and Mr. Li delivered the cup all the way from Lungmen to be stolen, and it's all a show, huh? You called the magistrate by name, but gave them Lungmanite a courtesy title that shows you're a good person. Does being a good person mean anything else, Inyan? Please don't get the wrong idea. I'm not trying to beat around the bush. All I'm saying is that you aren't hiding your trust in the Lungmanite anymore. Is it because of his partnership with Rhode Island? It's actually more than that. He's a friend too. There aren't many people who we can truly call friends. It seems Nian and Dusk are your friends too. It sounds like the Sui regulator has some high standing in Yan. So why the ruse? Who are you trying to fool? I'm afraid there's more than what Rhode Island needs to know. And you straight up admit that? There's nothing to hide. It's just a mere elegant way to go about this to save our Mandarins some face. Now that I've told Rhode Island so much, can we set aside our differences and negotiate? You want our help? We'd like Mr. Li too. What do you need help with? To eliminate the elimination of the Sui. I'm not drunk, no need to hold me like this. You're my guest. I'm just a grunt you summoned from Lungmen. I'm actually considering the possibility that the messenger might not be able to find you in Lungmen. And I actually registered my agency in Lungmen hoping that you would find me. This detective agency, why did you choose to build your business in Lungmen though? It's the farthest away I could get from Yan. Any farther than that, I have no place to go. You could come back. I don't want to. Liang Shun. I know, actually. You always knew. Lungmen is not your home, yet you spend half your life holding out hope for Lungmen. I thought there I could finally find what it was that I wanted to do. Did you? I did, but I also found that I could find it just about anywhere. All those years ago, Huai Tianpei said he'd study Kung Fu and make a name for himself. And all those years ago, Lian Shun wanted to do something for all people under heaven to change the ways of the world such that they would no longer have to... Oops. That they... Where was it? Such that they would no longer have to be afraid. Pardon, my hand slipped. What about you? I was just a fine beast in a river, and the moment I jumped a few chi out of the water, I felt I was at the top of the world. Okay, I'm pooped. I've got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. You should get going. Very well. Take care. There's no more wine. Old friends, old friends. Hmm. A brilliant move. Hmm? I see that I'm losing. I suppose there is no need to continue. That's right. There is no need to continue. There are more to the four arts than Wei Qi, and yet that's the one you always pick to challenge me. This is a form of bullying. One man must avoid one's shortcomings. And we both know I am no match for you in poetry and song. Fair. Lost interest already? These are times of peace. These times of peace are enjoyed only by Yan. Your stones are set only in Yan. Correct, the board is entirely within Yan's borders. Though I am not necessarily playing every round, in that case the other games must take place elsewhere in the world too. Will those games have aught to do with you? Real men remain silent as they spectate and never regret their moves. So all you do is spectate, you watch mankind as they wage wars and battle with each other. I'm just learning the art of the game by spectating. Even children start to play by imitating. But you are not him. What do you mean? You are one of his pieces. Will you play in his stead then, Mr. Lee of Lungmen? What? This is peculiar. Why did he drag an ordinary man like you into this game? No, perhaps he didn't choose you in particular. He simply realized that things would come to this sooner or later, no matter who and no matter what. What are you talking about? I am saying you are not the disheartened man, but you are sitting here in his stead, playing a game with me. Who are you? Ling. What is this place? A dream from 100 years ago. Now that's funny. How could I have a dream that takes place a whole century ago? Indeed. How could you? What are you doing here? It feels like I had quite a dream. Oh? Stop right there. That voice. Alright, this was a lengthy part. Holy shit, stage 4 has a long story. Forgot how long it was. Anyway, let's go to the stage in between the two battle stages, titled All Things Have a Soul. A day without dream sees lives and spirits still. It's nearly dawn. I suddenly realize ever since I came to Shangshu, I haven't had a proper sleep. There's a great commotion outside. It seems two people are fighting. But I know their fight isn't because of each other. They're fighting over me and that cup. I've always considered myself fine at reading people. I've guessed, too, that this can't all be that simple. My premonitions have never been far off the mark either, so I've prepared 2 letters, set on the table. Let's not trouble our Mr. Liang for now. But I am curious, are you just allowed in or out of the Liang estate whenever? Liang Shun must not put on government airs, but this has to be a little too careless. Stop there!
In Rimbilitonian? Oh god, why do I have to say this word?
Crikey, my list didn't have nothing about this Shayla.
Good lord, whatever you're saying, Black Knight, whatever you're saying.
Nowhere to run. Who sent you? Wait, you're not even Yanese. Where did you come from?
What's going on?
Here I was thinking you kicked the bucket in your sleep.
Aren't those
Beasts along snouted slumberfoots. She was clearly scheming something outside your room. You think do-gooders do that?
in Rimbilitonian again?
I'm not secret here anymore, so it's in for a penny, in for a pound. Okay, Rimbilitonian woman, hold your beasts. This is the Xiangshu magistrate's land. I don't mind either way, but getting on the courtman's bad side won't do you any favors.
Again, Rimbilitonian?
You're able to...
Oh my god, why? Why?
You're able to rabbit on in the old Rimbil?
Roughly.
May I have your name, young woman? And what are you paying your very bold visit here for? Yapan, Black Knight. Why were you ignoring me if you could speak Yanese? You're a Rimbilitonian, but you have a Yanese name. That's not the point. That's not the point. I really don't end up in these situations, but I'm not looking for too much trouble in the city anyway. A hunt with no traps and no plan is a hunt just waiting to fail. Give it up. You're not pulling any schemes here with me on the scene. Miss Du is a temperamental sort. So you two are working together? This works out just fine, actually, while you've been focusing on me. Light. Thrill. There's more slumberfoots. It's got the goblet in his mouth. See you never. Hold it right there. Hey, what dimension are you living in after her? Long-snouted slumberfoots don't live in Yan, let alone keeping a cadre of tame ones as your partners in crime. This woman's probably come chasing us from somewhere else entirely. What are you still thinking about? If it didn't help you, she would have trapped you to death right there. No, I wouldn't say she was after my life. Cool, you lost the goblet, and you don't even act like you care. And aren't you scared Mr. Liang's gonna chew you out? Now I've lost the cup, and your hopes have come true. Isn't that just dandy? Fine, I said that, but if this spirals out of control, what do we do then? I just wanted my dad to suck it up for once. I didn't think the whole association would be done for. Where's Lian Shun?
Benefactor, this matter you raise, it's far beyond the pale. You'll have to let me absorb this slowly.
Don't blame you. I've known Lian forever, but I still need some time to take this in.
And you told me without the slightest reservation.
You're a Rhode Island operator too.
Right you are, Benefactor.
But whether or not we agree with it, having a nation stop organizations watching Rhode Island so closely doesn't make for easy sleeping at night.
The SUI regulator, the Ministry of Rights, just their names alone are intimidating. Yet I didn't quite pick up on any malice when they spoke to us, you know.
Perhaps we've taken Nian's household affairs too simply. Should at least have Amiya and the doctor know about this before we make any calls. But it's not like Closure and Amiya have no idea about this, right? But they agreed to Nian's request too back then. And who knows if Lava's given the branch office a shout yet.
Benefactor, given things are currently brewing up a storm, perhaps we should put our own safety's first, don't you think, or...
We'll discuss this with Mr. Lee first. Nian be damned, but Dusk's not somebody who makes things mysterious on purpose. If what she said was true, then it looks like this whole thing has a lot more moving parts than we thought.
A safe proposal? That's my benefactor.
You say that when Yan Sui regulators already came knocking. Don't think saves the day of the bird. The day of the bird here?
Okay. A benefactor? What has you furrowing your brow? Bro?
This thing's... nothing? Move it.
Oh! What in the world?
What? Is this some... metal animal? Wait, that's a teapot. That's a painting frame. Are these things alive?
Where did this thing scrabble out from? Hold on. Has that teapot grown legs? Watch out, benefactor. A fair, square hit.
Looks like that.
Slow down, this thing's turned back into a common paperweight.
Damn, they're all over the place here.
Benefactor. What's happening? You're making lots of noise here. Why is that flower pot moving?
Ah! What's going on? What are these things?
Where did this miscellany all come from? Oh, what did I just step on? Did this fall out of my benefactor's bag? Huh? Nothing. What are you all charging at me for?
There's one more.
That one was narrow. Much thanks, benefactor.
Ow, ow, ow.
But what could possibly be happening? Could there possibly even be more scoundrels working against us?
I've got this feeling I've seen these things somewhere before.
You're right. They particularly seem an homage to Miss Dusk's ink spirits. Were there still leftovers?
They're all coming at the charm Nian gave to Lava. That settles it. They have to be pretty much like ink spirits.
Liang Shun. Li. The cup got stolen. I was careless. It seems to be a Beastmaster's tame beast that did it. Wasteland long-snouted slumberfoots have a special organ in them. There's some kind of hypnotic substance they can secrete. But none of the sort live in Shangshu. Someone skilled, strong, and in command of beasts that put people to sleep. A fine accomplice if you're out to steal a cup. And the thief's not even with the inn people. You are certain that much? You're not surprised at all. You figured it out long before I could, I'm guessing? The look on your face tells me this one was definitely unexpected. Any immediate suspicions? I didn't tell anyone at all where the cup was hidden. I think you told someone else I had it on me. I did indeed say that. That's good then.
But look at this study, completely neat and tidy, just missing that case you hid the cup in. So who can get into your study, and who could send someone to sticky finger the cup on such short notice? Hmm. Don't don't tell me too much. I'm scared I'll get my feet caught in your bureaucratic vines. Do you need my help to bring the uh, the one behind the thief to light? Reclaiming the goblet should come first. Moreover, hunting that one down would be too hasty. Hey, little girl. I have a name. You're so slow about everything. What did Mr. Liang say to you? Some quite perplexing things, but absolutely not to do with your old dad this time. Tch. Seems our Miss Du Yaoi does like her father after all. You said how you were all for young against old and how you didn't even want to take this job, but you got other ideas too, don't you? Not talking about me for now. You know what's happening, so think how we can haul her back in quick. Easy enough. That Black Knight had real freak skills. You think it's so simple to get her? We're just in luck. The better the skills, the easier they take to bait. But what's important is, as a Rimbilitonian, how she chased her way into Shangshu, and how it is controlling her behind the scenes.
And how? Wait, did I read that right?
And who? Sorry. She's not from Lungmen. I didn't hurry too fast from Lungmen to Shangshu. If she really was out tracking me down, she could have pulled things off at any messenger station. Why wait to move until I'm on the Liang estate? Not to mention a Rimbilitonian wantonly raiding a young magistrate. Either she's an idiot or someone's using her. Doesn't that make her an idiot either way? Not necessarily. People do act naive at times. When? When they want something from someone very badly. Are you trying to tell me something? You're imagining things. Will Rhode Island really do something just because you left the letter in your room? We have a level of trust. Do you know them that well? Good people always know each other well. His door is open, but where's Mr. Lee? Benefactor, there's 2 letters here. It seems one's meant for us. Let's see. Benefactor, I admit I've been holding in my curiosity. Just what kind of person is this Brother Lee? He's a detective. Had the dealings with Rhode Island since a while ago now. Well, mainly the kids from his agency have. But little by little, him and us have gotten familiar. I see, a detective. No wonder he's so meticulously minded. By his wardrobe, I would have guessed him to be some manner of Tianchi with a mild hand for Originium arts. What did Brother Lee write then? Says, read it for yourself. Cup was taken. Find Master Shen at Ferry Crossing. And well, he really hasn't taken us for outsiders. Master Shen would be the boatman of some admittedly suspicious intrigue, no? If we don't get this sorted properly, Rhode Island can kiss goodbye to not getting involved. Better we listen to Mr. Lee for now. He predicted this situation got more complex, so that's why he didn't want us involved at the beginning. Does this really mean he saw all this coming? How come you're out of things to say now? Really? We haven't run that far yet. And can you tell me how you know they're gonna listen to your letter at all? If I start telling you youngsters like telling a youngster like you, Miss Du, it'll be your fault when you get bored. You love pretending you're so mature, that's why I hate all you kung fu nutjobs. You've got the wrong idea there. I run a licensed detective agency. Does being the boss of one guarantee you're a detective? What? You're wasting all this effort just to find this goblet's owner and nothing else? You swear? Of course there's nothing more. There's more. I want my own answers too. You know, if what you say is true, couldn't that Black Knight bandit seriously just leave Shangshu? A thief with knowledge of how Magistrate Ling's study is laid out. She must be somewhere nearby, off to meet her puppet master. And on the off chance she scrams. If a Rimbilitonian can get out safely after stealing the magistrate's property, then someone wants her leaving. Or to put it the other way around, she's going absolutely nowhere. Guaranteed. Not a guaranteed, actually. It'll just be a gamble. Then we're too late then, aren't we? If worse comes to worse and she dits Scarper on us, then with your help we'll just get her back. Easy for you to say. How am I meant to know which way she went? Well, if they've come prepared, then how do you find a single person in a Shangshu-sized haystack? Is one pair of eyes and one pair of legs going to do the trick for you, Miss Du? Then what can... Wait. It's not me who wants that lousy goblet either. Someone's stolen it. Brilliant. We'll go see just what fins those anglers are trying to fish up with it. Do you already have guesses for who they are? All I do is ask that you all take your seats. Very rare you should call for me so early in the morning, my lord.
Miss Ning.
The camellias in the roadside garden have bloomed. Have you seen them?
You were the one who planted them.
Yes, much thanks to your tender care for them. You truly let your own garden run wild. This become a means for me to kill my time. I will sprinkle a few red plums next time then.
As you wish.
Why such agitation, my lord?
There's something I wish to consult you on, Miss Ning.
Well, will you say it? Since when could you no longer say things straight, Liangshun?
It's to do with that friend of mine.
Do you not trust me?
I have always trusted you, Miss Ning.
Really? If so, why do you ask to confirm before you speak?
You are completely right.
Though I do not mind the walk to see you, it would not be just to ask me some questions that you called for me, so rare that is.
If I have displeased you, I humbly apologize.
Why the nervousness? Am I so frightening? Yesterday morning I went to old Zhao's jewelers and had repairs on the bracelet you gave me. At noon I went to Miss Wen's shop to pick furniture. I have long wanted a larger dining table. After I went with Miss Wen to meet her husband at the dock. In the afternoon we ate our meal at Chef Hu's, talked of everyday domestics. Finally I went to Uncle Bai's, watched him teach his potter apprentices, and went on a stroll with him. Is there anything you still wanted to ask, my lord?
The breast I gave you was just an ordinary silver one. It's not of great worth.
Really, may I not like it if it is not of great worth?
I hear Uncle Bai has had a cold the last few days. He's admittedly getting on his years. He's at the point he should be minding his health.
He will. But Uncle Bai has been pottering in Shangshu for 10 years now, every afternoon and for 6 hours. Thunder could not move him. Habits become nature. There will be no exhorting him now.
You met all 5 of them throughout all of yesterday.
This routine matters.
I understand now.
So, now you have finished questioning me, you shall next be heading out, my lord, shall you not?
It's almost daybreak.
This early to be visiting the theater, no?
Not a suitable time indeed.
And you know my body is frail.
I will go and brew some tea then. You wait. Oh, yes, Miss Ning, the book you borrowed yesterday from my study. Have you finished reading it?
It's day now.
But the snow still hasn't melted. I have something I need to ask you too.
What?
Do you see these little what's-its multiplying?
What is this?
If these things appeared because of that goblet, then that means we be on the right street.
They haven't followed me. I'm finding this way too easy. Let's see this letter. That storyteller has seemingly changed profession. Pottery? Pottery what?
Where are you going?
Who is that?
Why is that unaccounted for goblet in your grasp? Gah. Grr.
So you are here.
All right, considering this has been, oh god, literally a 2-hour recording, and this feels like a very appropriate stopping point, we shall stop here for today. Okay, first off, put the music a bit down now, considering this music is louder than the one during cutscenes. But alright, things are happening, things are heating up. The Sui sisters are slowly coming together, and there appears to be another force surrounding the goblet. Some force that is apparently taking Lee as a host to talk through. But we shall see how the story continues in the next episode. For now, all I can say is thank you all for listening and watching. This has been Jacob, with a narration for the Invitation to Wine side story in Arknights. Thank you, and I will see you in the next episode. Till then, have a nice day, and bye-bye.